Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to display a QR code for Expo React Native app. Now I know there are a lot of third-party libraries available to display QR code, but I will be making use of native modules. Like it has its advantages and disadvantages, so yeah, you choose whatever feel right for you. So yeah, let's get started. So firstly, I am on this documentation and I will be using this particular command for creating a new Expo React Native project. Like this will create a bare minimum React Native project for me for this template of blank TypeScript, sorry, because I want to use TypeScript. You can choose whatever template you want, but I think it's better if you follow what I am doing, because I don't want unnecessary code for my starter project. Okay, so just go to your workspace directory wherever you create your project and just paste this particular command. Now this will take little bit of time to create your project, so be patient. Again, it is asking me for my app name, so I'll just call it as my app. Change it to whatever you feel like. Okay, now this might take little bit of time, so be patient. Let's look at what's the next thing which we want to do. Given that we will be writing our own native module, we will have to create the Android and iOS folder for our Expo project. For that, you can go to this particular URL which guides you on each and every step. So I'll just open this particular URL. So firstly, I'll show let's look into Android. So for Android, you have to select Android. I am using development build because for writing native modules you require development build. You can't use Expo Go. I won't recommend using Expo Go even if you are not writing your own native module, as it is only for prototyping and not really good for real world projects. Also, I have unchecked this toggle because I don't want to use EAS. I will use my own local setup for development. Now I am using macOS, so choose whatever operating system you are using. I have already done all this step, so if you haven't done all of the setup, make sure you do that setup. So I have already installed Android Studio as well, so I'll simply scroll through this. Okay, again, make sure you follow all these steps. I have already done all these steps. The important thing later on is once our Expo project is created using this particular command. So here you can see my project is created. I will cd to my project. Okay, and this particular project does not have the Android and iOS folder, so we want to generate the Android and iOS folder. For that, firstly we will have to run this particular command. So I'll just copy it, I'll paste it over here, I'll click on enter. Now again, this will take little bit of time, so be patient. Once this particular command is done, we will have to run this particular command. So this will actually create the Android folder for us. So here you can see this particular command is also finished running. So now I will run this particular command. Currently, like for my Android development purpose, I mostly use real Android device. I don't use the emulator because it is extremely slow and it slows down my laptop as well. Now for some package name, I will keep it as default, but change the package name to whatever you feel like. I'll just click on enter. Okay, and now it will create the Android directory for us. Okay, so let it complete. Again, this will take a lot of time. If you don't have the emulator connected, for me it will throw an error because I haven't connected my real Android device. So here you can see this is fine for me. I am not interested in running my Expo project now. I will run it later once I have written all the code for it. Okay, now what we'll have to do is we'll have to do the steps for iOS. Just select iOS device. I'll again scroll down. I have already installed Xcode and Watchman, all this stuff. Now again, we have already run this command for Android, so we don't have to run it again for iOS. For iOS, we can quickly run this particular command. So this will generate the iOS folder for us. Okay, now again, this might take little bit of time, so it is asking me for a bundle identifier. I'll keep it as it is. You can change it whatever you feel like. Typically this bundle identifier or this Android package name is something like com.your-company-name.your-app-name. So if you want, you can change it something like that as well. Next, so this command will do the CocoaPod setup for us as well. Next, we have to generate a native module for our project. So for that, we'll have to go to this particular URL. Okay, I will open it, and here you can see that this is the command for creating a native module. Okay, so as you can see, this is the command for generating the native module. So I will quickly copy paste it, and here you can see my CocoaPods installation is still not finished, so I will wait for this CocoaPod installation to finish and I'll come back. Okay guys, so as you can see, after doing CocoaPod installation, it is telling me select a device. I will just do Control C because I don't want to run it now. I will run it later once I have written all the code. So I'll just do Control C. Okay, now we'll have to create our native module. So again, I'll go to the documentation. I will just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now again, it will ask me for my module name, so you can change it to whatever you feel like. So here you can see, I'll just name it as my module. Yeah, change it to whatever you feel like. I'll just click on enter over here, click enter again. Now again it will download some npm stuff and it will do the setup for us. So it has already done it. Now we also need to run this particular command for iOS, so it will do CocoaPod installation for us. Again, I will just do Control V and I will paste it over here. So yeah, it will do CocoaPod setup for us as well. Now okay, coming back to our documentation, so here you can see that it has created the Android folder as well as the iOS folder for us. Okay, after all this setup, and this is our module. So this is the native module which has created for us. Now again, this might take little bit of time, the CocoaPod setup, so be patient. Once that is done, okay, so it is done. Let's see what's the next step is. Okay, so the next step is we will have to go to this particular documentation which tells us how to integrate a native view inside our Expo React Native project. So I will just open it. Okay, now don't follow this documentation blindly, because the problem with this documentation is in here they have told us how to create a third-party package for our native view, but we don't want to do that. We want to integrate inside our existing application, right? So we don't need to do this because we have already created the native view using our previous command. Okay, we don't need to do this also. Okay, ignore this. This is already done for us. This is already, I will show you where exactly all this setup is. So we don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. We don't have an example project, so we don't need to do this as well. Now here comes the important part. So this tells us how to integrate native code inside our iOS application. Now this is for WK web view, which is a web view, but we want it for QR code. Now just to save time, I have already created a practice project for myself where I have already written all the QR code stuff. I will copy paste those code, but I will explain you each and every step. So here is my project. Okay, so again, ignore this. You don't have to worry too much about it. So this is our project, right? So I will go to iOS, and here I will have to go to this my module view .swift file. Okay, now I will go to my practice project. This is my module iOS, and this is our Swift file. Okay, now firstly, to display a QR code, we have to take help of UI image view. So I will just copy paste it over here. Okay, then this we have to override this required init as well as layout subviews. As you can see over here, they have told us. So this is like initialization code. So we are just adding our image view to our parent view. Okay, and then we are occupying whatever styling you pass it from the React Native side, as the frame means whatever width and height you are passing. Okay, so I'll just copy paste this over here. Then to generate a QR code, we have to make use of this particular method. So basically you will pass some string from React Native side as a prop. We will take that string, we will convert it to data format. Then we have to make use of this CI QR code generator. Okay, then we just call set value, then we use this CGFine transform, and then we just use this filter.output image, and we get a UI image. Even if you don't understand all this stuff, that's fine. Even I have copy pasted this code from online documentation. So this is how we generate basically a QR code. So I'll just paste it over here. Okay, so till here it's fine for everyone. Now what we have to do is we have to set a prop. Okay, so for that we'll go to this my module.swift file. Now here you can see it has already registered our view. I'll just close this file. So it has already registered our view, and it is by default taking a prop called name over here. I don't like this name, I wanted something different. So again I'll just again copy paste it. So I'll scroll down. Here you can see I'm using something called text. If you want, you can use name as well, but yeah, for me text makes more sense. But if you use name over here, then you will have to use name on React Native side as well. So what I'll do, I'll just paste it over here. Okay, so what basically we are doing is telling is that we will get a prop called text as a string. Okay, once you get that, you immediately call this generate QR code method, which has been defined over here. It will give you a UI image. Now with the once you get the UI image, you can just update your image view to this new image which we have got. So this image view which we have comes from here as well, so this one. So hopefully that's clear for everyone. So that's it for iOS side. Another important thing is, you might be wondering, okay, we have assigned this text, but how will TypeScript know this? So we have to do some setup as well. So you will have to go to this src folder, and here you will have to go to my module.types.ts. Now if you remember, previously it was named as, the prop was named as name, right? We don't want name, we want text. So what I will do, I'll go to my module.type.ts, just change this as text. Okay, so now TypeScript will be happy, we will get proper type intelligence. Now this is for iOS part. So similarly we have for Android view as well. So again, like I told you previously, I'll just copy paste my code. I'll go to src java. Okay, I'll firstly go to my Android folder of my practice project, src. Okay, before that we have to go to build.gradle, because we have to include a third-party dependency, as Android does not directly support displaying QR code. So for that we have to include this particular dependency called com.google.zing core. Okay, so I'll just copy this entire part. You will have to go to this build.gradle file over here, and you will just have to paste it something like this. Okay, so yeah, so I have pasted it. I'll just close all this stuff. Next we'll have to go to this my module view.kt. Again I'll go to src main java expo. Again this is my practice project. I will just open this. So firstly I will copy paste all these imports which I have. So these imports are necessary, so I'll just paste it over here. Next, okay, I'll just close this. Okay, next we have to add curly braces. So I'll just add curly braces over here, opening and closing. Then we have to create an image view. Again, to display a QR code we require an image view, and we are setting some layout params of match parent and adding it to our parent view. So I'll just copy this, I'll paste it over here. Next we again, to generate a QR code we use this particular method. Here you can display the barcode format as well. Here I am using QR code, but there are some different types of barcode format as well. If you are curious, you can use that, or check the documentation of that Zxing library which we have included inside our build.gradle file. You can also change the color, but here I am using the standard black and white because that's what most QR codes are in. So what I'll do is I'll copy this code and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so this is done. Now again, if you know, like we have changed the prop name to text, so that's what we have to do inside our my module.kt file as well. I'll scroll down. Here you can see again it is using name, which is by default. I'll go back to my practice project. Okay, and here I will have to change it. So I'll just copy this, I will replace this. So here we will get a text from React Native side. Once we have it, we just call this particular method set image bitmap, which we have already defined over here, right? So I'll just show it. Sorry, this method is by default present inside an image view, but this is the method which we had defined inside our module view. So get QR code bitmap. Okay, so once we get it in bitmap format. Then to assign it to our image view, we just have to use view.imageview.set image bitmap. Okay, next, we'll have to go to app.tsx. So I will again copy paste that code as well. So I'll go to app.tsx, and this is how we can import our module. So I'll go to my app.tsx. I'll just paste it over here. Okay, then to display QR code we can use something like this, and I'll paste it over here, something like this. Okay, now here for styles it is giving me an error, like this is not really an error, TypeScript is not happy with it. But before that I'll just tell you what we are doing. We are including our module view, importing our module view, we are creating a React component, and here if you remember, text was the prop which we were passing. Here you can pass any value, whatever you feel like, to display your QR code. So this is up to you. I'll just name it as coding with nobody. Now from where do I get this style prop? So to make TypeScript happy, so if I go in the documentation, here you can see we have to copy this particular line of code. So where is it exactly? Inside props, right? So I'll go to src over here, and I'll paste it something like this. Okay, hopefully now TypeScript is happy with us. Let me quickly check my practice project as well, just so that I don't make any mistakes. src, yeah, same thing. Okay, so yeah, we have to just add it. Make sure you import it from React Native. Now I will quickly run my application on Android and iOS and show you guys the output. Okay guys, so as you can see, this is the output for iOS. So it is running perfectly fine on my iOS simulator. Okay guys, and here as you can see, this is the output on my real Android device. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.